Hi everyone, this is Sunil here. Hope you're all doing great. And in this session, we're going to talk about the Enterprise Manager. So this is the Enterprise Manager that I'm talking about. So you need to log in into the master database in order to use it. So let me connect to the master database. And I do see a lot of things here. Now, what exactly is Enterprise Manager? Enterprise Manager is a single point of monitoring for, you can say, single monitoring tool for the administrator if he wants to see the health status of what's going on and what are all the settings. Where is my hub server, where is my process server, where are my master databases, how many ORS databases I have, a lot of things, right? So let's go one by one and try to understand what this contains. So basically you see something called as, the first tab is the hub server. So it's telling me that my installation directory, my master database, and my application server, because I'm using JBoss. So you can see JBoss here, and if you're using WebLogic or something, you'll see WebLogic. And the port, this is not the same for most of, what do you say, if the application server changes, definitely the port changes. And in the application server also, let's say if I'm using the latest version of JBoss or an older version, then this will change. Okay, and this is remote, and this initial heap size and all those things, these are all basically parameter settings to increase the performance. If you want to change it, you can also go to the server properties, as you can see here, CMX server properties. You can go here and there you can change it, or you can say it's basically what you can say, basically it's taking the properties from the CMX server properties, and refresh interval for SAM resources, and clock ticks, and all those basic parameters you can set. Actually, these parameters, they don't you don't need to play around these parameters much. There are certain parameters that will have serious impact in the performance, and for those kind of things we are going to understand how to do that. For example, see here, my server is running on the GRE 1.7 and my client is running on the GRE 1.8. That's slightly interesting, because if the reverse, you would have tried the reverse, that is not going to work. For example, if your server is running on a higher version, then you cannot have the client running on a lower version, right? And this is my version history. Pretty much just tells me what's the build number. We are on 10.0, so this is 10.0. So you can see here, this is what you can see. And the process server, I mean, in my earlier videos I talked about the application server as the middle tier, okay, the application tier. And we have basically two things. One is the hub server and process server. I have multiple process servers, as you can see here, for different ORSs. For ORS online, I have configured one ORS, and for pretty much for every ORS, I have a process server. Now, what if you don't have a process server configured? It means you can develop the jobs, you can, you can develop the objects, but you cannot run them, right? You cannot run those objects. And talking about this, like the installation directory where it is installed, this is all the same stuff what we had discussed earlier in the hub server. That was about the hub server configuration details, and these are about these details. Some interesting parameters here are the address doctor configuration file. If you have configured the address doctor, then you would see the address doctor configuration file and here and all that, and Trillium, if you want to configure, you would see all of these things here. And these are all the, if you want to choose a external cleanse adapter, like Trillium, like First Logic, like SAP, any of these things, then you can configure them here, okay? And these are all the different properties that are there in the process server, and the versioning and all that for this, and then the master data. To see the versioning, you click on this particular thing, you should be able to see it. You can see here, right? And talking about the master database, it's just, there isn't much information here, the version history and all that. So it's not needed as well, because we are more interested in the ORS, because that's where you can do a lot of your stuff, right? Pretty much the master database is, so I shouldn't be saying this, but quite boring. So anyway, this is my ORS database. This is quite important page, okay? So you have ORS database here, you have a database production name and all those details, environment ID, debugging. If you have enabled debugging, then you would see this enabled here. There is, what do you say? If you want to enable the debugging, you need to go to the C repos DB release table, and there you need to make this parameter as true. Okay, this debug indicator, you need to make it as true. If you do it, then that's enable. And the level, debug level, and all those things, the parameter size, max number of database files, you should increase it, right? Because it's better to have more files if you are planning to have a lot of data, not better to store the information in a lot of table spaces. That's going to increase the performance. And this is my connect URL. Will be different for different things, and for you it will be definitely different. I mean, this is where I can connect to my, thin client uses this connection to connect to the database, my database ID, my all those simple things here, okay. And the important configuration here is, if I take a log, let me take a log, I can, one second, I can see something, so just a minute. Okay guys, so I was talking about this ORS. When you click on this ORS, I can get a lot of information, and if I want to, there are certain things that are read-only, and for example, a lot of information is read-only, but there are certain things that you can change. For example, you can go and write the configurations here, right? And what is this configuration? This is the most important thing. If you want to integrate IDQ, Informatica Data Quality, with your MDM and want to use platform staging, then you must go and give the MRS, that is a model repository service URL, what you have here. You need to specify that here, the username, password, and all the repository details you need to specify. Once you do that, then pretty much your IDQ is configured, ready to use, and you could use it for platform staging. That's the feature in the version 10. And this is the overall environment report. Not interesting for, what you say, for developers, but pretty much interesting for the administrators. You can see all the details, where is where, what is what, okay, all those things you can get it here. So moreover, this is quite useful. The most important part here is definitely the MRS server configuration. I mean the MRS details for the, which I explained just 2 minutes back, and remaining things are just static information that you can read. So that's about this enterprise manager. I hope you understood this, and I'm going to finish this session. Okay, thank you very much for listening. Thanks.